okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Just
All
a
right.
little bit look to here,
All right.
look to
Look
there.
here.
Sometimes.
Okay.
So when
Switch
I
it up.
edit, they get a little bit of your eye contact and your side profile. You know, just a little.
All right. Cool.
I'm gonna be
You ready?
quiet.
Yeah, we
No. That was good. That was good. We on?
Yeah.
Ready?
Y'all good.
All right. All right. So first and foremost, I want to thank you all for tuning in. My name is Les, and this is my great friend,
Ayo OG.
and we are really excited to tap into something I think that our community needs to know more of. We need to know more about our economic history, and we need to know about our economic present, and we also need to prepare for our economic future.
Absolutely.
And IO has done a fantastic job at accumulating different resources and tools and knowledge that is going to help us really prepare for our future economically. And I want to start here because we were just kind of talking before we got on live, and we were talking about how our jobs are you know, they're our angel investors.
Yeah.
Typically, they're our first investors.
Yeah.
What was your first angel investor? What was your first angel investor?
Wow.
Or who was your first angel investor?
For me, it was Verizon.
Mm.
Honestly, Verizon Wireless, and my workers' compensation claim that was we settled on,
Mm.
and I then had some capital that I used to invest in the market. And so they were my first angel investors.
Man, I can't tell you how many times I had a lump sum of money, but I probably didn't do the best thing I should have did with it. I thought I did the best with what I knew,
Yeah.
right? But what I know now, based on what you've been teaching, man, you know, we'd be in a different place right now. But we're getting there. We're getting
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So you shared this with me before. You said we need to spend our working years better. How? How do we spend our working years better?
Well, spending your working years means better to me means that you have three things in place. In the time span that you're working. So that's typically between when you get out of college, like 21, 22, you get your real career job, maybe you're in your 30s. And so from your 30s into your like late 50s, those are years that you need to spend wisely. And the three things that you have to establish in that time, to me, is some sort of security of your life, because now you're in a phase where people are depending on you. You understand? And so you have to understand that in order for them to have some sort of security, you need to make sure that in your absence, there's something in place for your family.
Sure.
Infrastructure in place for your family. And so what that means is life insurance. A lot of times the premiums are cheaper when you're younger, of course. You then allow the time for compound interest to take advantage and help you. And so that's the second phase, making sure that you implement a investment plan of sorts. So that's either a 401k or 403b if you work in the education sector or industry, or a Roth IRA, which is the best, honestly, because of the tax advantages that account has.
Okay.
So the most important thing that I would say you need to have in place during your working years, as it relates to investing and the investment strategy that you implement, is making sure that you do not put in more than whatever the company match is when you are offered a 401k plan. The reason why is because a match is 100% return on your money.
Right.
Anything excess of that,
No match.
no match. And so now you're just hoping on returns from either a mutual fund that your employer works with or a index fund that your employer probably uses. So having your life insurance,
Mhm.
your investment plan,
Mhm.
and then the third thing that you need to have in place is a good health routine,
Got it.
a good health regimen to keep yourself healthy, keep yourself young, so that you can maximize your earning years.
Okay. So when we're talking about our working years, and you talked about there's 4 different quadrants, right? Those 4 quadrants are powerful. When we talk about a person that's in their, their 30s, let's talk about us, right?
Yeah.
30s, 40s, young children, married. What is that's the ideal market, right?
Mhm.
What are those 4 quadrants? Explain it to that group of people and how that really benefits them.
Wow. So the 4 quadrants, as it relates to just wealth planning, the first is liquidity. The second is control. The third is certainty. And the fourth is efficiency. So I'll break them down. So when it comes to certainty, right, the most important part of any plan, to me, as I said, even when you're in your working years, is knowing that you have something in place in your absence. God forbid you die today or tomorrow, you have a plan in place.
Right.
And there's no better contract on this planet that can guarantee 2 things in this world. Well, the one thing is your life. That's a certain event that's going to happen. And being able to attach a contract to a certain event that's going to happen is game changing. That's what provides certainty.
Right.
And so that's through life insurance, making sure that you have that as part of your plan. The second part of it is efficiency. And so part of the plan, you need to make sure that every dollar that you're putting into any investment strategy is working harder than inflation. Because that's what maintains and grows your purchasing power over time, utilizing compound interest. And so that part of your plan needs to be in place. And the younger you are, the more aggressive you can be, the more risk you can take.
Right.
But you also need to ensure that it's efficient, meaning that you're meeting your returns are more than inflation. That's the whole focus for efficiency.
Right.
And then the third aspect is control. Now, when it comes to control, you need to be able to make sure that you control everything, but you own nothing. And what that means,
break that down.
and what that means is to make sure you have all your legal structures in place. That's your trust, your will, your all documents relating to all assets that you have.
Okay.
Making sure your legal structure is in place. You consult with the lawyer or an estate lawyer to ensure that your assets are under the trust, so that, and then you have you have appointed people that you want to manage your trust. There's a whole bunch of things that you need to have in place to ensure that your wealth infrastructure is solid. Right. And then the fourth part of it, which is the part that I like most, is the liquidity aspect.
We all like the liquidity.
Because in life and in the market, we see opportunities all the time. And the people that are able to take advantage of that are those that have cash and are able to convert whatever they have into cash in a quick time. That's what liquidity means.
Yeah.
And so a plan that I have that can help facilitate that is the option trading strategy that I implement, which involves trading leap option contracts and in about 12 to 16 month time horizon. And the average returns is between 100 to 200%.
Mm. Wow.
And so if you're able to implement the strategy and make investments into the options market, at least semi-annually or quarterly if you can, and implement the strategy, you'll see that you're then converting, growing your cash, and ensuring that you have liquidity in your system. So that can be used to pay for your life insurance premiums. You can also use the cash to build the cash value in your policy, and then in turn that leads to infinity banking system, and then you can utilize your whole life insurance, cash value in your life insurance as a personal bank.
Excellent.
And so that's what provides liquidity in your wealth infrastructure.
So let's break down that infinity banking a little bit more.
Okay.
For those that wouldn't understand it, by you just saying infinity banking, what is it? How can I use it? How does it benefit me?
So on a very simple explanation of infinity banking system is utilizing a life insurance product and overfunding it with cash,
Okay.
and then utilizing the cash to purchase other assets that can give you the greater returns than what the cash value returns would be
Okay.
in the products. That's, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Got it. So let's talk about this. So if I were to purchase a life insurance policy with the cash benefit, right? What would be ideal assets to invest in? Now, obviously, we're not. What would be your idea? If you had it the way that you wanted it, what exactly? How would
So
I do it?
let me basically, I'll explain how I even discovered this thing to begin with. So I purchased my first piece of real estate back in 2020. And my ambitions at the time was to build a real estate portfolio that can, basically provide for me, like all the cash flow would be used for me to basically survive, so I don't have to get a job. Basically.
Got you.
And so in that vein, I started to, communicate with people that work in real estate. They were investors, they were contractors, and what I recognized was that a lot of the investors, they would pull their cash together and they would fund a life insurance policy and use that to generate returns with the deals that they invest in,
Yeah.
growing the cash pile and then being able to provide liquidity to newer investors. And so that's when I realized that, wow, life insurance is used like this? This is how they do it? And so for me, when I get the opportunity to utilize a cash value in the policy, what the type of investment that I'll for sure make is an investment in real estate. Because it's tried and true. 90% of the wealthy have real estate in their portfolio, and that serves as a good, solid foundation for whatever you want to build on top of it.
Gotcha.
Once you have that in place, then you can make the more speculative investments,
Okay.
and you provide it honestly and use it honestly to provide your business with cash. If you have to buy equipment, if you have to invest in storefronts, if you need to buy a vehicle, whatever you would utilize cash for normally, or you would normally need to take out a loan for,
Right.
you can take out a loan from yourself if you've built up the cash value to that amount.
Wow.
So that's the big benefit to it. And honestly, the earlier you start, the better it is. So when you're younger and you have a lot of discretionary income or disposable income, put that income back in your life insurance policy.
Yeah.
Because then you can pull it out and pay yourself back the interest.
Yeah, that's so interesting. My daughter, she's 14. She just started working this summer, and for me, it was all about make sure you put money away, right? Just to get her used to saving.
Mhm.
But now we have all these other options with
Mhm.
stocks and different things
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
It's a great option for her to learn, stocks and even cryptocurrency, different avenues of income. And our kids are so engulfed in this social media and just the culture as a whole, just the culture, society. So they are constantly marketing to us to spend. We are such spenders and consumers in this society. And I love how you are able to, put this plan together to educate people, to transform them from being spenders and consumers into creators, into producers. That's ultimately your assignment.
Yes.
That's ultimately the mission, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that. How does that happen? How do we transform a person thinking, when I get this money, I'm going to get this and that and that, and then at the end of spending, somebody said this. They said you have to. Some people spend. How do they say it? You spend what you want and beg for what you need.
Dang. Jeez. Wow.
Yeah. Right. So
That's
that's really the sentiment, right?
yeah.
That's usually the mindset. Is I'm gonna just spend, and then I don't have enough for what I need, so now I gotta borrow, I gotta beg, I gotta. So if we transform that thought process, then we can move here. So how are you transforming that mindset? Because we talked about this, but
Whew. Well, man. So the first thing is to get them while they're young. I gotta give so much credit to that. My fifth grade teacher, Miss Vacchio. That's her name, Miss Vacchio. Because she changed something in my head when she introduced that, in my brain, when she introduced the stock market game to me. And what it did for me in the fifth grade was it showed me how you can make money over time by just being patient. You can't make money by not selling your time. That was really the major lesson.
that's key.
Like,
You can make
money without having to
sell your time.
sell your time.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we introduce that concept to children in the fifth grade, financial literacy, turn it into a game for them, because she made it a game for me. And then now there's a competitive aspect to it. You want to do some research, you want to be on top, you understand? And so that introduced the concept of investing to me at a young age, and an age where most people think that they have to get a job to make money.
Right.
And so to address this issue, getting people while they're young is extremely important. The second part to that is understanding that we're moving into a new digital economy where it's your intellectual property that's really what's gonna matter.
Yep.
Gone are the days where you can exchange your time for money. There's a lot of tools now that are replacing knowledge workers.
Yeah.
So now it has to be something different
Has
that will make you competitive in this new landscape
to stand out.
and stand out.
Yeah.
And so understanding where we're headed to as adults, like the people that are in college, that are preparing to go into the workforce, you're gonna understand that, hey, okay, this is different now. And now it's more about how hard is my money working for me?
That's a big question.
How hard is my money working for me? Once you understand how hard it is, and you understand how much returns you're generating per year, are you on pace to hit your goals? And if not, then you may need to adjust some of your spending.
Mhm.
So that's basically what I would say to address that.
Man, I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about a mindset that pushes against that
Okay.
constantly, because I grew up in a household where I saw both mindsets. My dad was big, he loved entrepreneurship and business, so he always invested his money in some sort of network marketing company or some sort of marketing networking tool to help him progress. And he would invest in personal and professional development. He had a library. I mean, he would always be listening to podcasts and different things. Or at the time, it wasn't podcasts; it was
just
DVDs,
tapes.
and cassette tapes, and VHS tapes. But I remember him playing it, man, and I remember driving in the car and just wanting to listen to music. But he would have this Jim Rohn playing. Jim Rohn or John Addison or Zig Ziglar and Les Brown. He had all these people, and it was fascinating to me. And I would listen to him, and it would help me develop. But then my mom was a big spender, big spender. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen my mom wear the same outfit twice.
Wow.
Yeah, and I could be wrong, right? In regards to her wearing something
Right,
twice.
I got you.
But
the idea.
Yeah, but the idea, and my mom she's fly. She's always fly. That's one thing I say about her. She is fly. Everybody compliments her on how she dresses and things like that. But I think it's sort of like a therapy for her, I think. You know what I mean? Where do we get to a point where we are not allowing spending to be therapy for us? Because that's a challenge. It's I'm not really feeling good today. Let me go buy these sneakers or buy it. Even though we know that there's goals, you might not have a bill, and here's the thing. Well, I don't have any bills I need to pay on my bill. Yeah, but there's a future that you should be planning for, right? There's a future. I mean, obviously, when you get in your 50s, 60s, and your golden years, the 70s, you want to make sure that you got that.
Right. I got you. So to what you just mentioned is very true, and that's why the first meeting that I have with my client is to basically show them where they are, so that they can visualize where they want to be.
Yeah.
And then when it becomes visual, something happens in the mind.
There's a shift.
There's a shift.
The reality.
There's a reality that sets in.
Yeah.
And that's why it's extremely important for me to understand a client's current condition, what their goals are, and what they're willing to do to accomplish their goals. All from the first time we meet, because I'm going to just show you your model. Based on what you are currently doing, this is where you're headed. Once you get to visually see it, and you see the number that you need to be at in present day, so that you can be where you want to be in the future, then that inner dialogue starts to happen. Like, okay, so I know I should be making 220 or 267 now if I want to retire by 65 and not have to ask my kids for money or depend on Social Security.
Right.
Now that new iPhone 16 Pro Max doesn't look so attractive.
Yeah.
Compared to the picture that I just showed me of where I'm at now and what it looks like 10 years, 20 years from now.
Yeah, that's...
Seeing it, you can't unsee it.
I think that needs to be a part of school. That needs to be a part of the education. You need to be able to see that early. As early, like you said, 5th grade was a great place to be exposed to what you've been exposed to with the stocks. But I think in regards to like retirement, you know, and
Mhm.
seeing that gap and
Mhm.
understanding inflation, right? Because I learned economics in maybe 10th grade, 11th grade, but we didn't go deep into it.
It's just surface level.
Not so much that I could understand where I would be
Got
personally.
it, got it.
So imagine imagine you're in 9th grade and you have an economics class, and they say, here, pull out a napkin, the lip, right? Pull out a napkin, and let me show you where you are, right? Let me show you where do you want to be? What's the life you want to,
Life you want?
right? And then you can show them a reality, because there's so many people that say, oh, I want to do this, I want to live in this big house, I want to, but the numbers, they don't have an actual plan. Like, this actually gives you a plan, a legitimate plan, so every single year you can see. Listen, people aren't successful by hit or miss.
Thank you.
They're very intentional.
Correct.
I heard this guy say, he said, if you don't intentionally become rich, you'll accidentally become broke. Right? Like, and you
Wow,
really have
that's
to
good.
be intentional about becoming success. And again, successful is subjective, right? Because successful is based on where you want to be, right? Some people 100,000 a year might be successful. Some 10 million, right?
True.
So I know for me, having that scale and seeing that chart and seeing that inflation gap and knowing where I need to be when I'm 50, 60, 70,
Your
80.
milestones.
Man, it sets me up. Okay, I'm in my 30s. This is where I need to be.
Exactly.
And then what that does is that positions me to think, what do I need to do right now to help me earn this, to put it away here, to set this up and that up and that up, so that by the time I get there,
You got
I'm there.
You've planted seeds
I
already.
planted seeds. I was very intentional. And that's the problem. I think that there's a lot of fluff out there, and social media and a lot of other platforms are like giving us this false sense of, oh yeah, you can just do whatever you want to do.